Honestly, I was just. No, I'm not really responsible for that. I was doing stuff. That honestly. So we stayed there. The place was like perfectly, it was in it. Yeah. How'd you know they say it's? But we didn't, if they were here, but we were out. But isn't that just know it's something that's invaluable waiting on the other side? Yeah. I'm not gonna say it's trash because you look really nice, but it was.
They found the time capsule too.
Over there.
Yeah, there's a time capsule there. It wasn't supposed to be open for like another 10 years from now or something, I don't think. I forget where I saw it or read it at somewhere. I don't even know what it was for, to be honest. I just know it. I have to ask Ryan, because I think Ryan said he located it. I think it was an old high school class that put it in there, I think.
Yep. In so many words, but my thing is, I'm not fighting. I got tuition, I got paid a couple. I got tuition, I got paid a couple weeks. That's my bad. You'll get there.
Are we live? We are. We're live, Kyle. Hope it works. That's what the quote's about.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Pocomoke City Mayor and Council meeting. Today is Monday, March the 3rd, 2025. It is 6:32 p.m. Would you stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Councilmember Cotman, would you lead us in prayer tonight?
Sure. Dear God, we come to you today, first thanking you for giving us this day and allowing us the opportunity to gather together. We ask that you allow us to work together for the betterment of this community in a way that is pleasing in your sight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Before we get started, Mr. Lumaya, are we able to strike something off of the agenda now?
You can make a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay.
at
I
this
make a
time.
motion that we strike item number 6, the anniversary of the L. Ron Hubbard thing, Dianetics.
I second it.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. We will now, so move, thank you. We will now move item number 7 up to item number 6, item number 8 up to item number 7, item number 9 up to item number 8, item 10 to item 9, item 11 to item 10. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to item number 2, approval of the minutes from the February 18th, 2025 meeting. Council, is there any discussion? I'm sorry?
Yeah. When we were doing the minutes, we were finding out new technology to try to. Why there's some versions of it, the final version that I will see this afternoon. And it is one motion that I picked up and I.
I wasn't here last meeting anyways.
What program are you using? It seems like it's a lot more detailed.
This one was the Google transcribe.
Yeah.
And it really went through it and it picked up everything, including all the I's, the ums, the
Mhm.
sounds, which is why there were, I went through it twice, John went through it, and it was still taking up every little sound, every paper move, every little thing. So we spent the majority half the day today still taking out, but it and trying to make the motions.
So if I can make a suggestion when you're doing that, you want to do it by section. You don't want to cram everything into the transcriber all at once. You want to take it by section. So like this conversation right now, it would be a section. Later conversation, it would be another section. A summary's fine. We just want things to be detailed. Remember, we want future councils 35 years from now to know exactly what we were talking about. You don't necessarily have to catch me looking at CL and saying, CL, what do you think? But we do want them to know what we were thinking in that space. So I commend you all for trying new software. I commend you all for trying to pull it together, get more of what we've said. It's all about trial and error. So thank you.
I'll make a motion to postpone the approval of minutes from February 18th, 2025.
The motion has been made to table. Is there a second?
A second.
The motion has been properly made and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye. Those that oppose, you have the same right. Thank you. Moving on to item number 3, review and approval of the current bill list for payment. Council, is there any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
The motion has been properly made and seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So moved, thank you. Moving forward to item number 4, Public Works invoice approvals. Mr. East. You wore your fancy shirt tonight.
Okay. All right, Jenkins Orchard, in case you haven't heard, the lift station went down. And we have the bypass set up to keep the sewage flowing. In order to get it fixed, I have 3 quotes for new pumps, and we're gonna have to get the control panel board. And we were hoping to get them approved. It looks like Hills was the cheapest on the pumps. And Shore Rate Controls would be the ones to do the panel. They're the ones to do through everything through the city. The sooner we can get that done, the sooner I can get that pump back in case I need it somewhere else.
Thank you. Council, is there any discussion?
Sure. What'd you say?
Shore Rate.
Where's that panel?
Where is it? Right there at the lift station. If you go out Jenkins and get the end where, make a left when you get in there, go all the way to the end, it's a cul-de-sac.
Oh, down.
It's in the middle. The big orange pump there now.
Where?
Which one did you say was the cheapest?
Hills?
Hill.
That's what I thought you said short first.
Shore Rate's the ones to change the panel.
Okay.
I make a motion that we honor Mr. East's recommendation with Hill and the other, and purchase a panel as well to make Jenkins Orchard lift station whole.
I second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. So move, thank you.
We got one more.
Is this,
Go ahead.
is this picture, what is this picture of? It's a pump or something.
Oh, that's the plate on the pump.
That's the
It's
place.
extremely corroded.
Yes. I can't even see the date on it, what year it was put in. The next thing I have is, the roofs out to the lagoon on the offices or the buildings and stuff out there, if they need to be redone. We got 4 quotes on that. The cheapest one was from Tiger Roofing for $9,000 to do the whole 9 yards out there. I believe you should have got pictures of what happened. A lot of it's wind damage and then some of it's age.
It was 9,000 for Tiger Roofing.
From Tiger Roofing, yes, sir.
We don't have staff can do that?
No.
Motion, we, Tiger Roofing, Tiger handles the roof for the, water building.
Okay, that will be out of the capital. That was in capital for this year's budget, so that'll just come right out of capital.
I second.
All, the motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye. Those that oppose, you have the same right. So move, thank you.
You're killing us, Bill.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah. You're not coming next meeting, are you? Oh, Lord.
I'm not. No, he's not. I told him he was, we were taking off the whole month of,
April.
Moving forward to item number 5, Horse Fair Committee approval. So I just need to say something. This is not the Horse Fair Committee. It should have said Fair Board Committee. On the published agenda, it says Horse Fair Committee. So that's what we have to go by, because the last thing I want is to receive an Open Meetings Act complaint tomorrow morning. So we're gonna do it the right way. We're gonna fly high, but we know what we're talking about. So these were the names that the Fair Committee submitted to fill their board again. Mr. John Smith, Ms. Sarah Chapman, Ms. Stephanie Dubrell, did I say that properly? Mr. Dean Ennis, and Ms. Alice Jean Ennis. Are there any objections?
I have none.
Okay, so at the next council meeting, what we'll do is we will swear them in. We just need them to tell us who their chairperson is. Melinda will go over the responsibilities of the chairperson once you're sworn in. All right? We're moving on to the next item. We're moving on to item number 6, Resolution 2025 R-7, second reading and public hearing. Mayor and City Council of Pocomoke City, Resolution 2025 R-7, second reading. A resolution of the Pocomoke City Council amending sections C-18 of the Pocomoke City Charter. The recital. A, the Pocomoke City Council has determined that the Pocomoke City Charter should be amended to clarify and modify the powers and duties of the mayor. And B, the desire to amend the powers and duties of the mayor has been a topic of considerable discussion among council for some time. And C, the annotated code of Maryland authorizes the council to amend its charter through a resolution and appropriate notice to the public. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Pocomoke City that Section 1, in accordance to the Maryland Code, Local Government Articles 4-301 et sec, the city hereby amends the Pocomoke City Charter as follows, with any words or punctuation bearing the strike-through mark being removed from the charter, and any words or punctuations in capital and bold being added to the charter upon successful passage in accordance to Maryland law. C-18D, Mayor Powers and Duties, adding D, the mayor shall have the power to break a tie in the case of a split vote of the city council. Section 2, in accordance to the Maryland Code, Local Government Articles 4-304, the city will post notice and duly advertise the consideration and adoption of this resolution. The amendments will be effective on the 50th day of the after the resolution is adopted. We will now enter into our public hearing about resolution number 2025 R-7. Council, is there any discussion?
So I just want to clarify, right now, if there's a tie, there is no, recourse to break the tie in the charter now?
Correct. So if Councilmember Downing was here and something was split 2-2, it could be whether somebody abstains, or it could be because the seat's vacant, or they're just not here for the night. Depending on the urgency of the matter, it might not be able to be tabled to the next meeting. So usually a tie vote's a fail vote, but there could be times where action's needed. And so this would cover all those situations. It could be a one-off where someone's just not here, or it could be the seat's formally vacant, or they have to abstain for ethics or personal reasons. Any of that, this power would then be the mayor can break the tie vote.
Because sometimes there's, things we're voting on that can't be postponed to the next meeting, because some stuff we deal with is on a deadline and so many days and all that kind of stuff. So that's the solution to it, I guess.
It's a solution to it. Like, for example, if you have the vacancy in the seat. What if it was tied 2-2, two people wanted to have a special election, 2 people didn't? You wouldn't have a special election. You'd have that seat vacant until it's up, because you're at an impasse. And that could be for political reasons, people are against that. It could be for personal reasons. It could be for justifiable reasons. But that's an example of where then you'd be down a 4-member council until the end of that term, and you could be in that position. So it's happened in some other cities recently where they've had like an ethics issue. So if somebody's abstained, then an issue is tied 2-2, and the refusal to take an action could lead to litigation. So this provides the mayor that power. So that's the basis, I believe.
Since 1878, how many times have we had to do this?
Well, you haven't had this charter form of government since 1878. You weren't incorporated until Pocomoke, Newtown may have existed 100+ years ago, but the current charter form of government didn't come to being until in the late 60s.
So have we had this issue for us before, and if so, how have we dealt with it?
So up until about.
My first night on council, there was a split vote regarding the grass cutting. And at that time, split vote was decided by the mayor. In the years past, it's been decided by the mayor. It just wasn't actually wasn't
We didn't know that it
legal
wasn't in the charter.
along the charter. So in the past, mayors have made the vote even though our charter doesn't call for it.
I've done research and looked at other cities. It's about 50-50 in, around the country from what I see. And there's a lot of folks that do see value in it. I'm on the fence about it. We've managed this far. I believe that the mayor's power and the power of the council, are synonymous, but yet the mayor is more of a leader of the city, in the forefront of the city, not involved in the day-to-day down in the streets with the councilman. So I'm on the fence on this one.
So for me, it's not about me, because everybody knows in 2 years, I'll be gone. It's about down the line, and more especially about the policy that we thought was in place. This was one that we believed was in place for a very long time. And then I don't know what happened one night, and we discovered that the mayor, I guess it was when Andrew came, and we looked at Bruce, or we looked at Susan to break a tie. And Andrew said, wait, you can't do that. So this is something we always thought was there. And I didn't remember the grass cutting incident, but I did remember other incidents where we would look to Bruce to break a tie. I really don't think we hit it too much with Susan, because for Susan, we did have a full buy. But definitely when Bruce was still here after Dale left, it was just me, Scott, Esther, and Miss Diane. And we let Bruce break ties.
I also think it aligned with the mayor's current ability to veto.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I also think it aligns with the mayor's current ability to veto a decision,
Fair point.
that you think they would also be able to then break a tie. It seems like it's in alignment.
Good point.
So I just have point of order. So quorum, you have a quorum for a business to conduct a meeting, but you cannot take a favorable vote without a majority of the whole number of members elected to the council. So if you can vote on it tonight, but if it's anything other than 3-0, it will fail under the charter. Now, you're also up against your 60-day rule. Now, you continued this today specifically for the public hearing. You've had the public hearing. Have you formally closed the public hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so the public hearing is closed. So you could vote, if you wanted to wait until you had 4 of you available, to continue to another specific date, the second meeting this month, and extend it. Otherwise, if you have an idea of how, if you're going to vote in accordance based on your discussion, then you could vote tonight. So that's just, ultimately, if it failed, it could be reintroduced, but this isn't as simple as reintroducing a regular ordinance or resolution, because you do have to have an advertised public hearing, which costs money.
Right.
So that's the only difference between that and a regular, and then the timeline for effectiveness is a little different, but it's something to consider. I don't know if because you're having the special election, you want to table it till after that. I just want to make sure you understand the ramifications. If you vote and it's 2-1, it will die. And
Understood.
it can come back whenever you want, but.
You know, I think Brooke's point is valid, and it's one that I had not considered, that that it is in line with the power of the veto, which we don't use very often, and I doubt we're going to use this very often, but we might, you know. But yeah, that's a fair point. That is one I hadn't considered.
I think it's important to have a tiebreaker. I mean, I was a little on the fence about it too, but I think it's important to have a tiebreaker in some form, because like we know, there's some things that have stipulations and timelines that we have to meet, and can't always help if somebody's sick. I know Miss Diane is sick tonight, so you know this is part of life. But I think either way, even if this wasn't the option, I don't know what the other option would be for a tiebreaker. It seems like looking around at other municipalities, this is the tiebreaker they go to. I heard somebody told me that there was something in the Pocono charter about for the tiebreaker to be a card drawn or something like that.
Oh, what?
It is.
Card.
It's about something.
Card. The
I think
card
we took that out.
being drawn or
I think we
something.
took
I'm
it out.
like, you know, you're just leaving up the chance at that point. So that's not a viable option in my opinion either. I asked Mr. Barkley today, and he said that wasn't in there. So I was just trying to.
No, it was in there.
It was.
We
but it's
took
not
it out
anymore.
when we went back and amended the charter, I think the second time, because you know, this is probably our 4th time doing it, but we took it out. The only thing that, the only other place that my mind goes in regards to this is we also don't have anything in the charter. If there is a motion that fails, we don't have anything that says when it can be brought back up. Other municipalities do have charters that says, hey, you got to wait 3 months. This can come back up in 6 months. we don't have any legislation that even allows us to, if we want to bring something back up, we bring it back up, but we're really not being governed under the charter when we do that.
It was 90 days.
Like I was saying, there's a lot of things that like, if we came to a split vote on something, there's a lot of things that the mayor could have, not decide to be the deciding vote and not take the power from the council person seat. But there's some things that just can't, be postponed and waited on. So either way, we need some type of tiebreaker for the future.
All right.
I can't make a motion. Now, you didn't give me that power.
No, we haven't given you this one yet.
Do you would you guys like to postpone it to Ms. Diane gets here?
I'm good.
Okay. Yep.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-R-7.
I'll second that.
Motion has been properly made and seconded. All those in favor use the sign aye.
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 Those that oppose, you have the same right. So, thank you. Moving forward to item number 8, Pocomoke High School donations.
Number 7.
I'm sorry,
And
number
the
7.
amended
Thank you. I have opinions.
This is regarding the banners.
This is in
Right.
regards to the payments.
Okay.
We did not budget this year to make a donation for the band. Now, we can do a budget amendment if it is the opinion of the body to approve it. We did, help me out, Mr. Barkley or Melinda, how much was the donation that we made to the high school? Was it $500? So typically, what happens is, around this time every year, we send the high school a $500 check. And they do whatever they will with it. It's supposed to be for the prom, but I do know that they have used it for other things in the past. This could have been one of those things. This year, the donation was made in September. They got the money in September. We did not receive anything back from them on what they spent it on or where it was supposed to go. But the city was approached to make a donation for the senior banners. The banners are $50. I'm a little old school in saying this. I know that some people aren't gonna like it, but I remember when you could call your grandmother and ask her for 10. You could call your grandfather, get 10 from him, get 10 from your aunt.
Have spaghetti dinner.
Huh?
Have a spaghetti dinner.
Anything. I think that the banners do add a little pizzazz to city. But I can't see the town paying for all of these banners. I just can't. I can't see the city paying for all of these.
I would like to clarify that the high school did not approach the city. I saw on Facebook that they were requesting donations from the community, and I thought that was something that we would be able to help out with. So that's why I wanted to discuss it with you all. And so I reached out to Principal Rain, and she told me that they have 77 seniors, and about half need assistance every year. So that is about a $1,925 deficit. But however much, if any, we decide to donate is up to the council.
It'd be my concern looking down the road that we have, in Pocomoke, we have students going to at least 5 different schools that I know of, 6 really. Are we gonna fund those?
Fund their,
You're talking about Holly Grove, Worcester Prep.
The 3 Pocomoke schools, Broadwater,
It's just for credit.
Rock, whatever that is, and,
Yeah.
I mean, you can go on and on. Salisbury Christian. There's probably 8 or 9 different schools represented by our kids. I do believe that we should do something for the Pocomoke schools, as that is their primary obligation. Um, uh, we've done our part with the 500. I can't see funding the whole thing for these people.
I've always liked the banners. We started them, I don't know, it's been 3 or 4 years ago now. And, like I was saying before the meeting, if you go to Chincoteague or Ocean City after graduation, they take the kids down and then families can pay to put, soldiers or people that are, you know, in the Army or Navy or whatever that from your town. I always look at them when I go in other towns. I like them. I've always been a fan of them. I think it just shows some pride in Pocomoke and pride in the people, you know, that were becoming young adults. I get your point with the Holly Grove and other kids. I'm open to putting any graduating senior from whether they're from, if they live in Pocomoke, they deserve a spot if they want it.
From what Councilwoman
How many?
Cotton said, she said there's 77 banners they need, and about half of them need some sort of assistance to put it up.
That doesn't mean that we would have to fund all of
No,
them.
I'm just running through the numbers with you.
Okay.
So you figure there's 30, right?
39 CO.
Well, I'm just going with 30. And there are, and it makes the math easy. And they're $50 each. Is that right?
I believe so. They're
So-
asking for $50 donations.
So if we did
for-
50, it would be $750 to send them. If we did 30 students.
I think last year we donated $500 towards these banners, and I wouldn't be opposed to another 500 from the town.
I'll do that.
Awesome.
But, you know, we do need to be prepared.
So this is what's gonna happen. This is what has to happen. Before they get a check, there has to be a budget amendment done. So it's not finished tonight, because it has to come back to us the next meeting for the budget amendment to be done. We're not finished with it. So we need Ms. Matthews to come before us, present a budget amendment to move the $500. We can tell her later.
Yeah, but that's cool.
But we need to keep this in mind when we start having our budget sessions and we start talking about donations. We need to keep this one in mind so we don't have to move the money, because in the past, we've not had to worry about it because we've had that little line item for them and we hadn't given them the money yet. This year, they got the money, right, this year they got the money in September.
And I'm hoping even this year, there's a way we can reach out, or people that have students that go to Holly Grove or Worcester Prep or somewhere to be able to hang their kids' banner as well if they're from the town of Pocomoke and graduated.
So let's do this. I would feel more comfortable if y'all did this. If y'all allotted $750, just in case there are students from other schools that do want their banners too.
Yeah, that's a good point. When we do this line item, can we do it for under the broad heading of school donations? And then delineate it and then divvy it out to the different schools as they come?
We can, but Mr. Barkley will have to talk to Ms. Matthews. So that's your guy on that.
So I would recommend we go to 1,000. And if
Okay.
there's other schools that come, we've already got that in the budget and we don't have to revisit it again.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you're budgeting 1,000, what portion of that 1,000 is going to Pocomoke High School? I guess is my question.
500.
Okay,
And then the other will be there.
gotcha.
If needed.
Okay.
It can, so either one of two things that can happen. It can be utilized or it will roll over
Into the general fund.
to the general fund.
Got it.
I think 500, we want to support that high school.
That was a consensus. We didn't need to make a motion. We'll make the motion the next meeting for the budget amendment.
Okay.
All right. Moving forward to item number 8, comprehensive plan updates.
Sorry, I'm texting Brandon.
It's okay. I can start.
Heads up.
I can start just a little. I saw it said that the Planning and Zoning Commission have been working hard. I've been to their meetings and have barely heard them mention it. That's all I
That's all you got,
had to
Mayor?
say. I've come to their meetings and I've barely heard them talk about it, if it was even mentioned. So I know that we voted to hire a company.
Okay, yes. Our very talented planning commission will have the comprehensive plan in front of it here, either at the next meeting or the one after that. I believe it's on par for the next meeting. They have another issue to deal with at the next meeting. It's going to take some time. But the community profile section, the draft of a new updated community profile has been placed on the city website and on our Facebook page for our citizens and our business community and our nonprofit and our community organizations to review. It's got a lot of good data on it, updated data from the 2020 census having to do with socioeconomics, demographics, race, and everything that comes in between there from the census data. So it really gives a good picture of the standing of the city from population all the way down, where we stand right now. But as the mayor mentioned at the last meeting and many meetings before that, this comprehensive plan is going to create a roadmap for the city. It's a very valuable tool to use as a guide to go forward and create a vision, a renewed vision of where this council and our community wants to go in the future, having to do with growth, transportation, the environment, economic development, finance, budgeting, and everything that goes with all of that, because it all works together in concert to create that roadmap for the city. So the community profile section is loaded up on the website. Thank you, City Clerk, for taking care of that for us, and for people to peruse whatever section they're interested in. There's also a guidance document that's published by Maryland Land Use, which gives the regulations that we go by in order to establish our new and update our comprehensive plan. This will eventually get to the council and eventually will become a forum for the community to come and visit with council and with the planning commission as well, to give their thoughts on each of the sections of the comprehensive planning document. But again, the draft of the community profile, the first section, is out there now, and I encourage all of our citizens to go to the city website or go to our Facebook page and check it out. It's got a lot of really good data within it.
Mr. Barkley, I can't speak for the body, but I personally would like to see the Planning and Zoning Commission do work sessions concerning this. The next, yes.
You kind of took the words right out of my mouth, but I didn't mean to cut you off at the same time. On the work session, I would highly recommend the Planning and Zoning Commission having a work session with City Council and the mayor. Thank you very much for putting that up online today. I encourage everybody to read the comprehensive plan.
It's a lot. It's a lot in there.
It's amazing, and the reason why I recommend the work session, there are some things in there that are pretty crucial. It's not all roses in this comprehensive plan. The weaknesses are really coming to the forefront, and they were gonna get there eventually. You know, if they're ignored, that's where they're gonna go.
Right.
So there are things that we need to kind of reel in, and the commission would really need the input from council for us to, I think, to even go forward in a smart way.
Thank you.
You know, some feedback before it comes to you, just to eliminate maybe some conversation that you all might have amongst yourself. We would try to answer those beforehand and make it a simple process, because I can see it kind of getting a little involved. So if we can knock something out prior to, I think that'll be a bonus. Whenever.
Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, again, thank you for.
I feel like she kind of took the words out of my mouth, like she was reading my mind a little bit. I feel a little violated.
Scary talk.
Jesus wept. But yes, we need to do work sessions. We also need to do a combined work session. The last thing that we want is for our comp plan to interrupt the, planning and development that we're going to be talking about. We don't want those to, we don't want those to intersect, at least not if we can avoid it. And we do know that the next planning and zoning meeting is potentially going to be a big planning and zoning meeting, and we don't want our comp plan to overshadow that, nor do we want that to overshadow our comp plan, so we want to keep those separate as much as we can.
Very good. Are there any questions from council members?
I do have one more question. Mr. Barkley, I've been trying to find legal notice for the public hearing for the planning and zoning commission. I can't seem to find it. And we have 20 days, and those 20 days have now passed.
Jesus.
Okay, let me consult with Mr. Brandaway tomorrow and I'll get back.
Statement passed it today.
All right, we're moving on to item 10, council. When are we going to have our first budget session?
Item 9. Item 9.
You said tomorrow.
Item 9.
Did I skip it? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
item
it was
9. Okay. Item number 9, budget work session dates. We need to set some dates.
We talking Mondays?
Not necessarily.
No, it can be any day. Monday, I'd rather it not be Mondays for me personally.
Just not Fridays.
Tuesdays? How's Tuesdays?
Tuesdays work for me.
Tuesdays are cool with me. Councilwoman Downing has prayer service on Tuesdays at 6:30, so we'll be looking at like 7 o'clock.
Might have to pray a lot.
See, you ain't gonna, what did I say when we first got here? Don't start.
7 o'clock's fine.
And plus, that'll give us time to eat dinner and stuff too. I'd like to eat before I come to council meeting.
When we want to start this?
Hmm.
When do we want to start?
That is completely up to y'all. We can schedule it for 2 weeks out, or we can do it in our off week. So then that would put us at next Tuesday.
11th?
That works for me. That works for me.
And just do it in our off week. And our first topic is going to be fees and fines. So we are expecting for Ms. Matthews to deliver hard copy fees and fines in an envelope to each elected official. Is that enough time for y'all? Actually, can y'all just come and pick them up tomorrow? Can y'all come and pick them up tomorrow? And if you can't pick yours up, let me know. I'll grab it for you.
I'll grab it this week. If it's not tomorrow, I'll grab it. I said I'll grab it this week. If it's not tomorrow, I'll grab it.
Well, you know, I'll throw it in your mailbox. And then we can just go from there. But fees and fines are the thing that takes us the longest. We do expect, Mr. Barkley.
Yes, sir.
We do expect to meet with, our department heads. It's kind of like we do it every other year. One year we don't meet with them. This would be our year to bring them in. I know that our methods have changed. You remember that you used to have to do the wish list, but we want to hear from all of them. We want them to tell us, number one, they need to know, they need to tell us where they see their department going, right? They also need to tell us what were some of our shortfalls, not just theirs, but all of ours, in this budget year. And one thing or two things that they think that we all could improve on.
And the fee schedule as well, good insights on the appropriate level.
Awesome.
I mean, not to get into specifics, but if we're looking for a boom in economic development, then there are certain fees that we would have to make lower. So I think it's something we really need to take our time on and do the right thing. Right, we are moving on to item number 10, comments. Let's start on that side.
I just have one comment, and it's just, I emailed you guys about it, about meeting with the Fairgrounds, Fair Committee on the work session, so we can start trying to iron that out. I know, Brooke said she was open to it, and I think the sooner the better, and I don't know what's on our agenda for our next meeting, but the Fair Committee has to come back next Monday anyway to be sworn in, so I don't know, if we have a rather short agenda, it'd be,
We should.
if we could just do it with them right afterwards, because I think we would, I mean, I want the Fair Committee there personally, because we need to know how to best sort this out for all of us to be on the same page, and, I think their insight will be valuable, so, I'm hoping that after our next meeting, they'll already be here, so we could stay behind and do a work session.
I don't necessarily know if we need to do a work session or if we should do a closed session.
Either one.
I think a work session is going to be beneficial, but we may need to have a closed session first for any committee. That's how we have to look at it.
Okay.
So closed session might be more appropriate
With them, so.
with them, and then if work session is needed thereafter, then we'll schedule a work session.
Okay.
Councilman Marshall?
I'd like to actually commend their Public Works Department, for overseeing the demolition of the Armory project. They did a very good job there. From what I understand, concerned citizens called the MDE on us a couple times, and it went, yeah, and the MDE people showed up, and we were found to be doing exactly what we should be doing in the manner that we should be doing it. So outstanding job for Bill and Mike and that whole crew. I mean, you did things the right way, and it got done, so thank you for that.
And that's part of the selection process of Miller excavating, because he's always has his papers in order.
He does. The big concern, from what I understand from the concerned citizen, was asbestos and black mold. And we did have a professional environmental remediation company in there that handled all that expeditiously and properly. We had our ducks in a row, so well done there.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Last week, Shore Transit installed a bus shelter on Market Street and Fifth, and that's going to be a big help to our commuters population. So I wanted to thank our city manager, Mr. John Barkley, for all the hard work he did in collaborating with Shore Transit to make that happen.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Moving on to B, comments from the mayor. I gotta say something. So when I spoke to you and you told me that you saw me out there recording, you mentioned something about NDE, but I didn't know what you were talking about. And so it just dawned on me. I didn't.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I certainly, our citizens of Pocomoke certainly have the right to talk to whoever they'd like to talk to about issues that may be out there that they have. But I strongly encourage the people of Pocomoke to call the city of Pocomoke first prior to calling a state agency, because we're all on the same team here. We're trying to do the best that we can do. We're trying to move Pocomoke forward, and makes me wonder if everybody is on the same team or not.
I get it.
And-
I also wanted to say, it's getting hot. It's about to get hot. I think we're all anticipating the warm weather. I know that I cannot wait to wear shorts again. But we also know that we see an influx in crime once it gets warm outside. Has Delmarva Power contacted us about adding more streetlights or no? They didn't contact us last year, and it was supposed to, correct me if I'm wrong, it was supposed to be a gradual process where they were coming to us and they were asking us to pick certain spots to put these streetlights, and they only did that 1 year, and we haven't seen them back.
I think they did 2 years.
Did they?
Yeah.
Pocomoke is dark. It's dark. And we want, number one, we want our residents to be able to see where they're going. We want the trains to be able to see where they're going too. But we also want our law enforcement to be able to navigate the streets if need be without, kind of going into a situation blind. So could someone please follow up with Delmarva Power? Number one, tell them, that we're not paying their high bills. And number two, definitely, and that was a joke, y'all pay your bills. But number two, definitely, figure out where we are in the streetlight process, because I remember we sat down, each council person came up with, different locations that needed them. And I can remember.
We did a lot of corners.
Mhm.
We did a lot of corners. We started with like the corners of
Yeah.
streets.
And I can remember
Intersections.
being in the District 4 seat, but I was bugging everybody about getting their suggestions in. And I never want us to be in a place where we've kind of done work like that for nothing. Also, something else that is coming up real soon, our negotiated agreement with Comcast. What's it called? The enterprise agreement with Comcast. We need to see if we're going to, renew it. Ultimately, what this agreement does is it keeps other cable companies out, not dish companies, but it keeps other cable companies out. Comcast pays the city a fee, but it's coming directly from the residents, and we only get a portion of it. So we really need to see if we want to renew it. It is a little bit of revenue that comes in, but is it worth it?
Is this just regarding TV?
Hmm.
Is this just regarding TV?
It's
with David-
regarding, it's weird, because
With Davis Brothers being in town offering their internet,
but I think they're offering two different types of internet. So I think that's why Brett could come in, but that's why, what is another one, like Cox, right? I don't think Cox could come in and offer us cable and internet.
It's a franchise agreement
Franchise.
where they have the sole right to provide cable within the municipality. It's fairly commonplace.
Well, we know it's common, but the last time it came up, we kind of duked it out about it. So I think that before we really make a decision, and of course, we're going into budget talks, is something else that we really need to look into. Now, it might not be this year, it could be next year, but even if it's next year or 2 years down the line, we would have to start planning to officially pull out before we get there when it comes to budgeting. Bless you. It is so nice to see everyone's beautiful face tonight. I'm excited about the direction we're moving in. I hope that we can start having some conversation really soon about what we're going to do with the Armory property. Mr. Barkley, I wanted to thank you for jumping into action when I sent you that email last week concerning the Boys and Girls Club, concerning the letters and the grants and all of that. I want to thank you for springing into action. I know I can be a bit of a pain sometimes, and I know my stuff just comes up and out randomly. I feel like everybody else kind of like moves strategically, and you know what to expect from them, but sometimes I just spring something on you, and I want to appreciate you for taking it in stride and just doing it like Nike. Just give us a moment, please. Moving on to C,
Just
comments.
Can I just say one more thing? Our next meeting falls on St. Patty's Day.
I
So-
won't be here.
Will we be meeting on St. Patty's Day? I'm just trying to figure out a date so the fair committee can mark their calendars for when we'll be meeting with them.
I'll be away that week, 17th.
So if we're not meeting on that Monday, our meeting is normally on the Tuesday, so I just so everybody can mark their calendars.
But City Hall is open.
Okay, I'm fine to meet.
The
same
City
day, so
Hall,
it's up to
City
you
Hall
guys.
is open. So it wouldn't have been a meeting that we moved,
Okay,
unless y'all want to move it.
make no difference.
I just won't be here.
Does it work for you guys if we do it on St. Patty's Day? No? Yeah. If we plan on meeting with the fair committee, it might just be easier to do it that Tuesday. So, it'll be available easier.
Or I kind of want to check with Councilman Downing because we could actually squeeze them in next. If Councilwoman Downing is willing to do her prayer service here, or if she's willing to be late for conversation, we can just go ahead and put them in before we do fees and fines.
Can we discuss
Yes.
all this stuff with them before they're actually sworn in? I don't know, any legal stuff with that. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I'm sorry.
Let me swear I'm in now.
No, God, no. Try to do. Remember you met the people from Legit
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago and they didn't know your name?
they know it.
We try to make sure they still don't know your name. You, Scott, you know they know me and you.
All right.
So we'll send out a correspondence to you all about the meeting. Expect to hear from us between tomorrow and Wednesday. And we can just check with Miss Diane, see what her schedule looks like.
Okay.
Even if we need to back it up 7:30.
That's a little late. I got a dog to walk. Unless, never mind. All right, moving on to comments from the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council, and our distinguished visitors this evening. One thing for you, I was going to talk about the shelter, but Council Lady Cotman did a nice report on that, a nice update. I appreciate it. Thank you for your kind comments, Council Lady. The preliminary draft audit is out for fiscal year 2024, and we had a good year. We're carrying approximately a $1.8 million fund balance from the prior year to this current fiscal year. So you've got 1.8 million in the bank. Investment policy usually prescribes that you have 3 months in the bank. We've got a lot more than that. That's about 1.1 million, as I'm advised. And so it puts us in a good situation for a foundation for the budget discussions for both the current year budget and amendments, and for the coming year fiscal year budget that we'll start talking about later in March. So that gives us good footing to go forward. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Members of council, if there are any questions, please let me know now, or when you ever have a moment to talk, and I'll give you some more detail on the draft. And it'll also be presented to you here in the coming weeks by the auditing consultant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barkley.
Moving forward to see comments from the audience. Please go forward, state your name, your address.
Stephanie Duprell, evening mayor and council. Fair Board came here this evening thinking we were getting sworn in. And I didn't understand why we couldn't.
So,
If you could make it clear to me, please.
so in order for us to swear in, we have to specify on the agenda that we're swearing. So it was listed as fair, you know what it was listed as, but I'm going to just Fair Board approvals. So you're approved one meeting, sworn in the next.
Okay. Karen, thank you.
Are there any other questions from the audience? So do me a favor real quick. Could you pull the microphone down and speak into the microphone? I'm a little hard of hearing.
Yeah, 1 month ago, we came to the meeting and told the city council that Helen's house had been liberated 1 month ago due to the wisdom of Honorable Judge Mumford and the Pocomoke authorities and letters from me to the judge on February 1st, 413 Laurel Street was liberated from bad people who had control of it. Right now, work is still underway to restore it to the residential standards. Helen Lynch, the owner right here, is thankful for the help then and the continued responses due to minor and semi-serious incidents and infractions caused by people who still are coming by that are, don't realize it is, been liberated. In this last month, she is appreciating the compliments from the local residents, the Pocomoke Police and others, and recognizing.
Sir, with all due respect, this is a legislative meeting.
Yeah.
If you have any, issues with, public enforcement, the appropriate person to contact would be to Chief Hancock.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is what I can appreciate is that you all are literally down the corner and a little to the left from my house.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate you all cleaning up that yard. I can appreciate you all getting that trash up. So from me to you, from one neighbor to the other, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but those types of concerns, you definitely want to speak with Chief
Right.
Hancock.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember to call them for you. I don't think anybody else is going to be willing to take on that responsibility, but you definitely want to contact Chief Hancock
Yeah.
for those types of things. And you don't want to air that out in an open session that goes on record. You want to be able to tell your story to the appropriate persons, and you want them to do something about it.
Yeah, and we appreciate your compliments too and recognizing, seeing improvements. You know, today while working in the yard, 3 people stopped and told Helen and I that they are thankful and grateful that the neighborhood has been cleaned up and there's a great reduction in the crime that was in that area. Okay, yeah, thank you.
I had to run away.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the audience? I understand a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Motion is made and properly seconded. All those in favor use the sound aye.
You gotta say aye.
I'm gonna lose anyhow.
We're leaving.
Aye.
Those that oppose, you have the same right. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Oh, Lord. So, question for you. On Sixth Street, Brooke on Sixth Street. Are we on?
The lights